Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. It's your boy PSG, and in today's video, we'll be going through Paris Saint Germain and how they will be lining up next season in the 2024-2025 season. Starting off with the goalkeeping position, it looks like Luis Enrique and the staff are confident in Gianluigi Donnarumma being the goalkeeper for next season, but they want to bring in a better second goalkeeper than Arnaud Tenas and Keylor Navas, and the goalkeeper they are monitoring is Lucas Chevalier of Lille. Very young, promising goalkeeper, came second in ranking, only behind Gianluigi Donnarumma in Ligue 1 this season. He's also French, which goes along with the French project that Paris Saint Germain are trying to build at the moment. But the goalkeeper for next season will be Gianluigi Donnarumma. Moving along to the centre-back spot, Paris Saint Germain currently obviously have Marquinhos, Lucas Hernandez who's out with an ACL, Lucas Beraldo. The other ones, they're not really rated. And that's why Paris Saint Germain have done every single thing ever since January to recruit Leny Yoro, the hottest centre-back prospect in the entirety of the world. And it looks like Paris Saint Germain will get him ahead of the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester United, and Chelsea FC. Even before the Lucas Hernandez ACL, Paris Saint Germain have been looking for a second centre-back to recruit this summer. But with the Lucas Hernandez ACL, it's even more important for Paris Saint Germain to get in another centre-back. The names that are being linked are Ibrahima Konate of Liverpool, obviously he's a Parisian, Calvini from Atalanta, Upamecano from Bayern München, and Gonçalo Inácio from Sporting Lisbon. All of these options are really great, but I think Paris Saint-Germain will be picking Gonçalo Inácio, who we've been linked with for a very long time, and Luis Campos loves the player. But the centre-back partnership for next season, when everybody's fit and healthy, is still Marquinhos and Lucas Hernandez. Moving along to the fullback spot, this is one of the spots where Paris Saint-Germain doesn't really have to strengthen the starting 11, where we have Achraf Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, but we need to buy some fullbacks, and one fullback that Paris Saint-Germain are looking at is Thiago Santos from Lille. It will still be very hard for Paris Saint-Germain to get him because he's not seen as a priority alongside the other big transfers that we have to make this summer. But Thiago Santos to Paris Saint-Germain could be happening. But still, the starting fullback duo for next season will obviously be Nuno Mendes and Achraf Hakimi. Moving on to the most important part of the summer transfer window, which is the midfield. Paris Saint-Germain really has to strengthen its midfield. Gabriel Moscardo finally joining Paris Saint-Germain this summer, and Eamon Carr is set to return from his loan and also have an impact at Paris Saint-Germain next season. We don't really have to strengthen as much as we should have done, especially with Xavi Simons also returning from RB Leipzig. Luis Enrique has always been talking about wanting an experienced midfielder to pair up with the youngsters he has, and Bernardo Silva looks to be the main option for Paris Saint-Germain. We obviously had agreed terms with Bernardo Silva last summer, but Manchester City did not want to sell. What they did though was extended him with a release clause, which we will activate this summer, and an agreement shouldn't be hard to be reached between Paris Saint-Germain and Bernardo Silva. PSG might sign even 2 extra midfielders on top of Bernardo Silva, names such as Desiree Doué, who Paris Saint-Germain are heavily linked with for a 50 to 70 million price tag. Bruno Guimaraes, we've been interested in him ever since January. Lucho loves the player, but Campos has some question marks about his very expensive release clause. Joe Vermeeren from PSV has also been a player that we've been linked with for a very long while, and with his potential transfer price not being that expensive, he could be signed this summer. And lastly but not least, a player that both Luis Enrique and Luis Campos love is Joao Neves. The issue with him, Benfica don't want to sell and are pushing all clubs that are interested in Joao Neves to activate his release clause of 120 million euros. I could only see Joao Neves come to Paris Saint-Germain if PSG and Benfica can find a way to get him loan with an option / obligation to buy, similarly how they did with Gonçalo Ramos this summer. But the starting midfield for next season for Paris Saint-Germain will be Vitinha, Bernardo Silva, and Xavi Simons. Moving to the final part. Kylian Mbappé is obviously leaving Paris Saint-Germain, and he scored 45 goals in all comps this season. So PSG, this is where they have to spend their most money on replacing Kylian Mbappé. The first and big name that is mentioned is Rafael Leao of AC Milan. He's a great player. He's a really good Mbappé replacement because he plays similar to him. He's a left winger, left forward, that has also previously in his career played as a striker. So it would be interesting to see how Lucho would use him if we signed him. The issue is that Luis Enrique doesn't really rate Leao that much, mostly because of his ego and his similarities to Kylian Mbappe, where he doesn't press and so on. The name that Luis Enrique loves more is Kvaratskhelia, who Paris Saint-Germain are heavily interested in, have had talks with De Laurentiis, talking with Kvaratskelia's agent, and Kvara is happy to move from Napoli to Paris Saint-Germain, but it will cost a very heavy sum because De Laurentiis Laurentiis knows how to sell his players. The next position in attack is striker. Paris Saint Germain are obviously looking for a top goal scorer that can score the goals that will be missing from Kylian Mbappe. And the first name on the team list is Victor Osimhen. Paris Saint Germain have been interested in Nigerian since last summer, but De Laurentiis refused to sell him, but he's inserted a release clause into his contract worth around 120 million euros, which Paris Saint Germain will highly likely activate this summer. It's a battle between Paris Saint Germain and Chelsea FC on who can get Victor Osimhen, and that's why Paris Saint Germain have prepared a plan B if Osimhen joins the Premier League, and that is Victor Gyökeres, the Swedish striker at Sporting Lisbon, who has had over 60 goals and assists in all competitions this season, is linked to Paris Saint Germain, with Luis Campos set to have a meeting soon with Sporting Lisbon discussing the Swedish striker. And lastly but not least, for the right wing spot, Luis Enrique is extremely happy with Ousmane Dembele, but he wants a better backup for that spot. Luis Campos has found 3 different players that Luis Enrique will pick one of them. The first one being Ryan Cherki of Olympique de Lyonnais. Paris Saint Germain once again have been interested in the Algerian for a very long time. Second player is Mikel Olise, obviously from Crystal Palace. He would cost a lot of money, but he's another player that Paris Saint Germain linked with, and both him and Cherki would suit the PSG French project that we're currently building. And the last one is Yohan Bakayoko from PSV, another player that we've been linked with for a very long time. Luis Campos appreciates the player a lot, and he may be signed as the backup right winger to Paris Saint Germain. And here's the full starting 11 next season after all the transfers being had. Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal, Marquinhos and Lucas Hernandez as the 2 centre-backs, Nuno Mendes and Achraf Hakimi as the fullbacks, Vitinha, Bernardo Silva and Xavi Simons in the midfield, with Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen and Ousmane Dembele up top. Obviously, this formation is not entirely how it would look in game. It will more look like a 3 at the back, with Vitinha dropping between the 2 centre-backs, Hakimi and Nuno holding the width, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Bernardo Silva, Xavi all interchanging and creating chances there from centrally and from the wings, and Osimhen obviously being the top goal scorer. These are the players that I believe Paris Saint Germain will be signing in this transfer window: Victor Osimhen, Desiree Doué, Joey Verman, Bernardo Silva, Gonçalo Inácio, Leny Yoro, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, Lucas Chevalier, Xavi Simons and Yohan Bakayoko for an estimated price of around 562 million euros. It will be a huge summer from Paris Saint Germain, but we have a lot of money, especially with Kylian Mbappe and a lot of players with high wages ending the season, and we will also be selling a lot of players this season, which could get us up to 222 million euros. Obviously, maybe one of these predicted signings may not happen because it's too expensive. Maybe we get João Neves. It will be interesting. But these are pretty much the starting 11 for next season. And this will be Paris Saint Germain's backup 11 for next season. Lucas Chevalier in goal, Leny Yoro, Beraldo centre-backs, Nahaga Zag as the fullbacks, with Moscardo and Doué and Warren Zaire-Emery in the midfield, with Barcola, Gonçalo Ramos and Bakayoko up top. Let me know in the comments down below, what would you change from Paris Saint Germain's potential squad for next season? That's been it from your boy PSG. And as usual, allez Paris!